Hey everybody, it's Michael here from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review for you guys. Today we're looking at the Umarex Legends M1A1 Blowback CO2 BB machine gun, and this is the tabletop review. I won't be doing any shooting in this video. I hope to get to the field test shooting video down the road. There's lots of videos I need to make, so hopefully I can get to that pretty quick. I did want to mention we do have the Umarex Legends M1A1 CO2 BB gun in both the Canada and US Replica Airgun stores, at least for the time being. Stock is going to be limited, and I'm not sure how quickly we can get restocked since we're going through this time right now where product is hard to get. Companies aren't making products, companies aren't shipping products. That said, let's get on with the specifications. This is mostly an all-metal constructed gun with some plastic parts, mainly the stock, right? Pistol grip, foregrip, going to be plastic, not wood, but plastic. This gun uses dual inline 12-gram CO2 cartridges. It shoots 4.5mm steel BBs. It has an internal blowback operation and shoots in both semi and full auto selectable. The full-size dropout metal magazine holds the dual CO2s plus 34.5mm steel BBs. This gun weighs in at 7.75 pounds or 3.5 kilograms. Just to give you an idea, the real steel version was about 10 pounds, but that one had a wood stock. So if this had a wood stock, I'm going to say it would probably weigh at least a pound or two more and be a little bit closer to that. The Umarex Legends M1A1 has a 12-inch or 30.8 centimeter smoothbore barrel, and it has a single action only trigger. So you got to pull that bolt back to work that trigger for the initial shot. Then the blowback operation does that for you. The M1A1 shoots at up to 435 FPS. It also has fixed iron sights front and back. And on the rear, you have a notch and peep sight, the notch being a little bit higher up, which will tilt the gun up, give you maybe potentially a little bit further distance shooting and more accurate shooting, while the peep sight's more for just kind of blasting stuff closer range. I have to apologize for the small field of view. I won't be able to get the entire rifle on this table or the box, but we'll take a look at these and I'll move them around a little bit just so you can see everything as much as possible. The advantage to these tabletop videos is I can get in a little bit closer and show you some more detail as compared to if I were doing the review sitting in a chair and kind of holding the gun. All right, let's look at the box here. We're going to kind of move it from side to side. So here we have our Legends box, right? And we have some information there. Obviously we have 435 FPS, full auto, semi-auto, blowback, full metal, dropout mags, right? 30 rounds, steel BB, 12 gram CO2. So we have this nice image of the gun on the front here. Full auto CO2 powered air gun, full auto action. Lots of full auto information there, just letting everybody know, right? All right, so on the back, we've got some more like kind of specifications here, sort of an abbreviated version of the front here. And then we have, again, a lot of the same stuff. So sights, fixed front, fixed rear, barrel smoothbore, 12-inch barrel, dangerous up to 325 yards, dual power source, 12 gram CO2s. A little bit of a diagram on the back, just going over some of the parts. You do have sling mounts that is pointing out here, right? Selector switch, all of that kind of stuff. Inside the box, of course, you're gonna get a manual. Didn't show you in the box because it just basically holds it. There's nothing exciting inside the box. So here's your manual, right? Shows you how to use the selector switch, how to load the magazine, put the CO2 in. So you put butt to butt, ends are on the outside, so top and bottom for the tips of the CO2. How to insert that mag back into the gun. How to load it with BBs, right? Okay, full auto selector. Some sighting points, tips there. Okay, safety on, off. Working that charging handle. Obviously how to use the trigger, not too hard to use the trigger. We all kind of know that. Some of us actually use it a little bit too much finger on the trigger. Anyways, that's the manual. And of course you're gonna need an Allen key, right? To get, well, I'll just leave it in there. We have other ones on the table. This will tighten up your CO2, right? You got that little CO2 screw on the bottom of the mag, and that will tighten up your CO2 once you put it in. So I did want to compare this to the M1928A1. This is kind of like it. This is the cyber gun, and it's the typewriter. We call it the typewriter gun or Chicago typewriter gun. And this one, I believe you can get it. Well, this one comes with a drum mag. You can get it in more of the Thompson style, the M1A1 version here. Now this one's different in that it has sort of like a compensator on the top here. It's got these ventilation ports, or these ports here in the front, and then it's got these fins for cooling the barrel down. That's sort of the difference, plus this one had a drum mag, and normally it's supposed to have a top charging bolt, but this is kind of like a Frankenstein version of it, and it has more of the M1A1 side charging handle there. So a little bit different, but this is an airsoft gun. It's an AEG. It's totally different, but I just wanted to compare it because it's the closest thing I have. And it's got a drum magazine as compared to a stick mag. I want to do a bit of a walk around at the gun because you can't really see it all in its entirety. So we'll kind of take a look at it and I'll show you back and forth on this gun. So we haven't really seen the stock yet in this video. So I want to show you first and foremost, this is a plastic stock. So it's not real wood, but it looks great. I mean, a lot of these Legends series guns, a lot of the guns that you're going to see even from Gletscher or different companies that have these wood stocks, they look really good. You know, I mean, other than them being lighter than the real wood because they're plastic and they're hollow. They're not solid plastic. There's hollow portions in them. So that makes them a bit lighter. But if they were real wood, they'd be a little heavier. So it'd be kind of cool if Umarex maybe came out with real wood versions you could replace these with. That would be really cool just for authenticity, just adding a little bit of extra weight. So let's get in here into the receiver portion. So we have our charging bolt, right? Try and get my hand out of the way. And it comes back and it opens up the basically the ejection port area here. Now when you have a magazine in it, let's see here if I can get this out. I can't really do it from this side here. Let me switch it over. A little hard to do this on the table. I'll just pull it off. Okay, let's get the mag out. We'll do the rest of the view with this mag out at least. So you can see right into the ejection port here when the mag's out, right? And so, right, it goes all the way forward, locks halfway back, but it does cycle all the way back when you're shooting it. It locks halfway back, kind of like an open bolt system almost, right? So it's gonna pop forward and close, and then that's basically how the bolt works, okay? So your magazine obviously slides in here. Let's take a look at this side real quick here. Obviously you have your trigger, right? Okay, your bolt, some writing there, M1A1, caliber, serial number. Let's take a look at that front sight. You're gonna be jumping around a bit here. Front sight, okay. This is a big gun, it's kind of hard to hold, so has a bit of weight to it too. So here's that rear sight, and you can see you have a notch on the top and then a peep sight on the bottom. Peep sight's going to be for a little bit closer range, more like action shooting, and then the notch sight I would imagine is for longer range shooting. It'll be a little bit more accurate. It's going to also tilt the gun up a little bit when you view through there, allowing for longer range shooting. Okay, again, here's that butt stock. Have a metal plate on the back. You have these, right, sling mounts, front and back. Oh, let's look at that here while we're here. Wording instructions. Okay. Sling mount. The front barrel is recessed a little bit, so it looks good. Sort of makes it look a little bit more realistic. Let's take a look at the magazine. So obviously, like most of these magazines, right, you just pull it down and load it from the bottom. There's a hole there. Once it's loaded up with 30 rounds, you release it. You've got the valve in the back, okay? CO2 goes in here. That's your CO2 screw, right? So your CO2 is gonna go, so the first one you're gonna pop in facing down, and the second one you're gonna pop in facing up, okay? And that's how you load it. All right, we'll put that back in. Okay. All right, let's talk pros and cons for the Umarex Legends M1A1 Blowback CO2 BB machine gun. It's yet another classic Legends replica airgun from Umarex. Maybe one of the best to date. Hopefully it performs as good as it looks. I really like it. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence between this and the MP40. They're both such awesome classic guns, but I have a feeling because of the 30 round magazine here, and the reason I'm pointing this out is because the MP40, the Legends MP40 had a 50 round mag, but it was kind of like a double stack mag. So the BBs kind of went crisscross from each other. The problem with that is that there were feeding issues with that magazine. So it looks like Umarex probably went and corrected that with this mag. I'm sure they could have got 50 rounds in here as well, but they made them more inline. So they might sort of go a little bit back and forth, but they're more inline, allowing for only 30 rounds, but there's going to be a lot less problems or potential with those BBs getting stuck or not functioning properly. Again, this is mostly all metal design gun with a good overall weight and feel to it. Now it does shoot in semi and full auto, so if you want to save a bit of CO2 and just kind of plink around and not go crazy, then shoot in semi, but if you want that full auto fun, then just flip the selector over and go to town. Now that dual CO2 design will help with increased shots and less cool down effect. Having one CO2, that CO2 is just like gassing out so quick, it just cools down and becomes less effective. Having two of them definitely improves that. Now I like the high capacity 30 round full size dropout metal magazine. It's pretty equivalent to what you'd get in a real steel version. And again, Umarex went with less rounds to get away from that double stack configuration that the MP40 had with its 50 round magazine, and I believe that's going to make it more dependable. And now it's a great looking replica of the real steel M1A1 in looks, operation, and feel. And I like that the internal bolt blowback will give it a bit of recoil feedback, so you're going to get some of that cycling effect. Obviously not as much as a 45 caliber, but at least you get something from it. And again, that simulated wood looks very authentic. And I like the recessed barrel. It just gives a little bit more added realism, a little closer to what a 45 caliber would look like. All right, some cons. Real wood hardware would have been a nice touch, giving it a bit more added weight. And I think getting some nicks and scratches just makes it look more realistic. But of course, that would add to the cost. So perhaps Umarex will offer a replaceable wood stock down the range that you can buy afterwards. Now the price is getting a little bit up there for a BB gun. We're looking at around $300+ in Canada, a little bit cheaper in the US. And that price, unfortunately, will go up a little bit with what's going on in the world today, just because our Canadian dollar is suffering compared to the US dollar and stock is limited. So again, if you want to buy it quick. Now, if you do decide to shoot the Umarex Legends M1A1 in full auto mode, you will eat through the CO2. You will empty this gun of bullets and CO2 really quickly, so keep that in mind. Make sure you stock up on CO2 and 4.5mm steel BBs. All right, if you're interested in buying one, do not delay. You can get them right now, at least the time of this video, in both the Canada and US Replica Airgun stores over at replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Username is Replica Airguns. If you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, pellet guns, airsoft guns, blank guns, and other accessories, then again, check out the Canada and US Replica Airgun stores. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.